With the introduction out of the way, it was time to actually take stock. I arrived at FC Bumprom mid-season with the club already deep in trouble. 5 points from 17 games, bottom of the table and running out of time. Before making any decisions, I needed to understand what kind of club this really was. From the outside, the situation looks bleak. The league position tells its own story, and there's no hiding from it. But that only explains where the club is now, not how it got here. And the fixture list doesn't help. There's no easy run, no gentle reset. It's just one test after another. When you're already adrift at the bottom, you don't get many chances to breathe. And what makes this situation stranger is what happened last season. FC Bumprom finished 5th in the league. Not scraping for survival, not fighting relegation, 5th. And the history shows they're only on the rise. This kind of finish doesn't usually lead to a collapse like this. So whatever's gone wrong here, it hasn't been gradual. It feels sudden and structural. The first real warning sign appears when you look at the squad's age profile. This is an extremely young group. In isolation, that might look promising, but context here matters. Most of these players aren't even on contracts. They're here month to month, with no long-term security. What's left feels less like a settled squad, and more like what remains after a mass exodus. Normally, you'd expect this kind of situation to be driven by financial problems. A club cutting back, a club struggling to survive. But here, looking at the finance screen, it doesn't seem to be the case. They seem relatively well off. With a total wage budget of around £3,000 available, almost none of it is being used, which confuses me. It makes the situation difficult to explain, with even a contracted player's wages ranging from £6 to £30 total a week. There's another restriction that changes everything. The board will only allow the club to sign Belarusian players. It was mentioned during the job application, but it's not obvious once you're inside the club. What's interesting is that this clearly wasn't always the policy. There are still a few non-Belarusian players knocking about, which suggests this rule came in just after last season and no time before. Once you apply that restriction to recruitment, the pool immediately shrinks. The options are limited before you even begin to assess the quality. As it stands, only 8 players would even consider joining the club. That's not 8 good options, that's 8 names total. When you look at the squad in terms of depth, the problems become obvious. Key positions are thin, rotation is almost impossible, and any long-term injuries would be devastating. There's no clear core to build around here, no spine, no group of players you can rely on to carry the team forward. This isn't a rebuild at this point, it's merely containment. The first match in charge didn't change much. A narrow 1-0 defeat, which I think, considering the previous results, wasn't too bad, but it did confirm what the screens already suggested. This may be one long season. This is the situation I've inherited. Not a clean slate, not a project with obvious foundations, just a problem that needs managing. And despite everything, the expectation is clear. Avoid relegation. That's the task, working within limits that weren't obvious from the outside and finding a way forward anyway. And that's what we have to look forward to in Season 2 of The Journeyman. If you would like to continue following the story, please subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video maybe, and comment down below what you think happened to this club last season. I'm very interested in hearing your theories. Thank you, bye bye.